Hi, and welcome to Nailed It Intuition and Tarot. I am Torch, and thank you for visiting my channel. Today, I'm going to provide a love reading on the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, and also seeing how the energies merge together between the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. So, if you like my reading style and messages, hit the subscribe button and like and share and comment on this video as you feel guided. Please remember that all tarot readings and intuitive messages are for entertainment purposes. We all have our own intuition, so always use your own wisdom, discernment, common sense, and judgment. You have free will and are never under any force, coercion, or spell because of viewing my content. Take what resonates and disregard what is not. So the decks that I'm going to be using today for the Divine Feminine is going to be the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. And for the Divine Masculine, it will be the Zodiac Tarot. And to show how the energies between the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine are merging together, I'm going to use this deck. I have no idea what the name of this deck is. I've had it for a very long time. It was one of the first decks that I actually ever purchased. So if I can come across it, I'll put it in the description. But this one will be how the energies come together. And then as an overall general tone of the reading, I'm going to be using the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. Okay, so I am going to give all of the cards a couple shuffles while I bless the space. And so at this time, I am calling the presence of the Most High Creator living within us and permeating all of creation and consciousness to join me now. I welcome you and your holy ones of the highest vibration into this space. Any energies or entities not as mentioned are not welcome here and must leave now. Our souls have a plan, and we are grateful for the gift of intuition as mentor and guide. Through this reading, may obstacles to our soul's plan be removed so that we may shine our brightest light into the world. And may the roads which lead to the manifestation of our highest path be now open and swift. Please guide the understanding of those listening to receive only what is meant for them without perversion. And may my understanding and speech be plain and clear, so that only what is needed to bring peace, truth, wisdom, and confidence is spoken. And so it is uttered, and so it is done. Okay, very good. All right, so let's start with the Romance Angels to get kind of a general message for the overall energy between the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. Okay. Ooh. Release your ex. That one flew right out. Let me sit that there for the time being. So I think it's pretty obvious what this card means. You know, apparently between both the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, there has to be some residual past energy. It feels stuck, and it almost feels like a little icky. Like I'm feeling an ick. And I think the reason for that is because there must have been some type of cord or ties or threads that are still permeating between the Divine Masculine and Feminine and whatever previous partners that they have had. And sometimes what I've noticed when I see this card, it may not be actually that a person is desiring their ex or even still in communication with their ex, but it could be a belief that maybe I'll never meet anybody as good as them, or maybe that past person is the best that I could get. You know, I remember for a time when I was releasing an ex of my own, And after like a year, I started to have dreams about them, but it really wasn't that I desired the person. I just desired how I felt when I was with them. I desired that treatment. And there was part of me that was still caught up in a past rhythm or belief that if I wouldn't, if I let go of the person, I'm letting go of something good about them, you know? But really, when you release your ex, you're releasing the pieces and parts of them that you didn't like, you know? It's like if you buy a car, you know, you might really like the car, but if the AC doesn't work, then it's not going to serve the purpose that it's supposed to do. Like, even if you like the color of the car and you like, you know, the rims that are on the car, but if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, that car's not going to do you too much good. So when you get rid of the car, you know, in essence, you're releasing it because it doesn't perform some vital function that you need it to. So if we think about this, you know, as far as previous partners that we've had, you know, there may have been things that you definitely liked about your ex, but the reason you left them or the reason it didn't work out was because of, you know, the energy that was incongruent between you two. And also because maybe there was some vital function that they just were not able to meet for you. So, but we can get caught so up in like, oh, but we had so much fun, and oh, they treated me so well, and oh, they were so good looking. It's like, you know, do you know that there's like, I don't know how many trillions and billions of people on the planet, but like if you still have energy like that, that's definitely coming from a lack mindset where you don't feel abundant enough to attract those qualities unto you. And so that's the energy that feels stuck here. So you know, whatever shows up in the cards, I'm going to kind of filter it through this particular energy so that we can really get down to you know, what specifically about this past situation is still lingering and not allowing you to move on. So I'm just going to sit this card right here. And let's start with the Divine Feminine. Now, I've already shuffled these cards, so let's give it a cut. So again, this is the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed that I'm using for the Divine Feminine. And I'm going to start with the Divine Feminine's thoughts about the masculine. What are the thoughts of the Divine Feminine about the masculine? Thank you. What are the feelings about the masculine? Okay, thank you. And what are the actions toward the masculine? Okay, this was a few cards, so I will leave those as they flipped. And at the bottom of the deck for the Divine Feminine, we have the Moon card. Okay, just so I'm not shuffling in the middle of the reading, I'm going to go ahead and get all the cards out on the table. And so this is the Zodiac Tarot for the Divine Masculine. Thoughts about the Divine Feminine. Thank you. Feelings towards the Divine Feminine. Feelings towards the Divine Feminine. Okay. And actions towards the Divine Feminine. Actions. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Cups. Divine Masculine might be in touch with his feelings. Okay. And this is for how the energy is merging between the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. Please show me the merged thoughts. How is this blending? How is it coming together? Okay. Please show me the merged feelings. Thank you. Oops. Got two there. And please show me the merged actions, likely outcome towards each other. Okay. And at the bottom of this deck, ooh, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, so that's a nice synastry here in the outcome. And I'm just going to sit this to the side over here. All right, so let's start with the divine feminine. So in the thoughts position for the divine feminine towards the masculine, we have the mastery of swords, which in this deck is the king of swords. And so this lets me know that the divine feminine is really approaching the masculine from a very logical perspective. You know, this is less about feelings and the woo-woo and the love and like I want my masculine to, you know, I want to be in love with my masculine. This to me means that something else is attracting the divine feminine towards the masculine. They are definitely in a space where they're leading with logic and where they're, you know, I've heard this saying that says, follow your heart, but take your head with you. And this feels like the divine feminine is definitely taking their head with them as they move along. You know, you've learned some lessons, you have figured out what works and what doesn't. And it's almost to the effect of, you know, I don't care how it sounds, what it looks like it has to make sense for my life. It has to check all these boxes, cross all these T's, you know. So this isn't the most romantic energy. It feels very businessy, but you know, relationships, in my opinion, you know, have to work well as a romance and as a business. Like, you know, it can't be one person like constantly giving and the other person constantly taking, or vice versa. So the divine feminine is definitely keeping her head, and forgive me with the gender. I'm aware that not all feminines are hers and not all masculines are him. So if I say feminine and refer to it as she, or masculine refer to it as he, please know that you can switch the roles as they fit for your particular situation. But this particular feminine appears to very much be taking their head with them. They could also be just very focused on logistics of their life, like if they work, or if they have a to-do list, if they have a lot of decisions to make, if they have a lot of, you know, like, or they could just be very career minded at this time. Okay, so let's see the thoughts of the divine masculine about the divine feminine. And here we have the Five of Pentacles. So this is the first that I'm starting to see some of this past energy about releasing the ex, because apparently the divine masculine is still caught up in some, you know, bad, sad, poor feelings about a situation that happened in the past. Now, whether the past situation was definitely, you know, where someone left them out in the cold, maybe they have felt rejected by a previous person, or this could be, you know, they're strapped on finances, they're hard up for their dollars right now, and they just don't feel like they have what they need for themselves to get by. So I feel like the divine masculine right now is, to me, is not feeling like they have a whole lot to offer. It kind of feels like their cup is a bit empty, and that they, you know, again, it's kind of that lack mentality. Now, I'm not judging a lack mentality, because I feel like we all ebb and flow throughout this life journey. You know, sometimes we're at the top of our game and we're feeling really good, and sometimes we don't feel so good, and we definitely feel like Five of Pentacles. And I think that's normal. Like we're here on this earth to experience everything, every emotion, every, you know, feeling. We're here to live through, overcome our insecurities, you know, and these feelings kind of never go away. You know, we just get better at managing them as we move on. And so this feels to me like the divine masculine is kind of at a low point right now. And so let's see how these two energies are marrying together. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So what I like about this Eight of Pentacles as this, this is definitely feeling like both of these energies are very diligent. I will say, like, I feel a diligence through this. The masculine is trying to correct this. Now whether they're doing it in the appropriate way, are you using these pentacles to make more money, make more dollars, get your money together? Are you using it, if the pentacle represents not feeling valuable, are you working on, things to build confidence and to help you to feel better about yourself? Is that what you're working on? As far as, pentacles and coins relating to how we feel valuable in life, or, are they just drowning themselves at work to distract themselves from feeling this Five of Pentacles? So maybe this will be more clear as we move along, but there's always like the highest and lowest expression of a certain card. So this energy could be manifesting in a number of different ways for them. Okay, so let's move on to how the Divine Feminine is feeling about the Divine Masculine. So Nurturer of Coins. So this card is the Page. Am I right about that? Let me just make sure. Here's the little book here. Yep, Mastery. Nope. Nurturer is the Queen. And the Messenger is the Page. Okay, so the Nurturer is the Queen of Coins. So this is the Queen of Coins. So I feel like the Divine Feminine, I feel this as in investing in themselves. Okay, because the Queen of Cups is definitely like about house, home. It reminds me of that like motherly energy as far as like nurturing and, cooking the food, tending to the living things, whatever the living things may be, if it's plants or if it's children or if it's pets, So I feel like this Queen of Cups, the Queen of Coins, for the Divine Feminine, this is representing to me that, even though in your mind you have this very logical energy, in your heart space, it's very much about, you're maintaining that feminine energy. I feel like this is a focus on self-care. I feel like this is a focus on house, home, keeping the environment beautiful, my surroundings, the colors around me, the fabrics around me, really beautifying their how they feel about themselves. But as it relates to the Divine Masculine, I feel like in contrast to the masculine, that this Queen that the Divine Feminine is filling their cup as full. Like they actually have love to give. They actually have acts of service to give. They actually have the fucks to give. I mean, forgive my language. But as it relates to being ready to interact with a potential partner. So this energy feels a little bit more whole and ready to me. What I do like about this also is that whenever I see a king and queen show up in a reading, to me, there's a self-sufficiency. There's like this energy is sufficient upon itself. Like this is not like a begging energy. It's not like a yearning energy. It's not an energy that's like thirsty or desperate or anything like that. Like this energy feels very whole and together to me. Okay, so let's see for the divine masculine. Okay, in the feelings, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So I like this. So the masculine here is thinking about ways that they can get their shit together. You know, thinking about, you know, if I feel like I don't have anything to offer, what would put me in a better position to actually have something valuable, have something worth that I can offer. You know, this Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles would equal the Six of Pentacles, and that's all about that giving and receiving energy. So I feel that this person wants to be able to give. They want to be able to be generous. They want to have some overflow, which makes sense at why we see the Eight of Pentacles here. So I'm glad we kept going, because I do feel like the masculine is definitely looking at how they can either, again, because the pentacle to me, how I can feel more valuable within myself, or how I can feel valuable to a partner, or how I can make more money. So they could also just be grinding it out and be very focused on getting their money up. Now, again, that could be a cover up, but, and then also it depends on what the masculine sees as valuable. You know, like, what is valuable? Is valuable to this person, like, I am valuable if I have more money? Or is it, I am valuable if I feel better about myself? And for some people, maybe having more money does make you feel better about yourself. But to me, the energy has to come first, and then the manifestation comes. So hopefully, because this is in the feeling state, this masculine is feeling more valuable about themselves. And so then the manifestation of that will come behind it. Okay, so let's move on to the actions. What are the actions of the divine feminine towards the masculine? So we had 3 cards here. I've got the Chariot card. I have Liberation, which is the Judgment card in reverse. And I have the 3 of Swords upright. So Chariot, 3 of Swords, and Judgment card in reverse. This divine feminine is not doing a damn thing. Not doing a damn thing. And I think that's why when we were talking about this Queen of Cups, I was feeling this, I'm sorry, Queen of Pentacles. I was feeling this as a 9 of Pentacles, like a very like single me, myself, and I type of energy. And I see why with the 3 of Swords here, because it doesn't seem like, even if the divine feminine has it to give, they are not, the feminine is not, again, thirsty. They're not just out here giving their pentacles, their cups to anybody. It's like, I was heartbroken in the past. Judgment reversed. It didn't work out in my favor. Chariot card, but I'm moving forward. And this feels like a very unbending, inflexible energy to me with this Judgment reverse. It's like, I'm not changing my mind. And so this is again where that release your ex energy is coming up. So it feels like there's still some pain and heartache from the past that the divine feminine has, where, you know, previously maybe they felt this same 5 of Cups energy that the masculine is in now. And you know, the feminine is starting to come out of it with a lot of logic and taking care of herself, themselves, okay, the feminine self. And feeling like they're in a position of power, feeling like they're in a position to finally move over. You know, I have this, it's like, I finally feel better about myself. I finally am not depressed all the time. I finally am working. I'm finally like feeling alive again. And I can't go back. I won't go back. Going back is not an option. And so even though maybe the person is not an option, there's still some pain there. There's still some pain there. Okay, while I'm still in this energy, I have another deck here that I want to use just to clarify for the actions on the Divine Feminine, to see if we can get some more data. This is a deck that I purchased from a reader. Her channel is called Queen of Cups Tarot. I think she's out of Sweden. I don't know the name of it, but I purchased it from her because she created this deck. And I love it. Okay, one more shuffle. Maybe I hate it when I do this. Oh, and I'm realizing I never flip those cards over. I need to get better at this. Okay, please clarify the Divine Feminine energy. Okay. So we have here, I was scared of being used. My surrounding didn't approve, and I never felt safe loving you. Yeah, so this safety was definitely a big thing for the Divine Feminine, which makes sense about this Moon card. And I'm almost feeling like this feminine is having issues trusting themselves. And because what this feels like to me is that maybe people in the environment maybe warned them or said, you know, this isn't a good move. And maybe if they were scared of being used, maybe they also felt it intuitively, because we got the Moon card here at the bottom of the deck. They must have felt it intuitively that maybe it wasn't a good choice either, whatever past situation that they were in. And they disregarded it. And so now, you know, after the dust has settled, after the judgment has been made, fine, we're not going back, I'm picking up the pieces and moving on. You know, it can be very difficult to trust yourself and trust that you're making the right decisions. Because it's like, you know, oh, if I messed up once, how do I know that I'm not going to do that again? And so I feel like this feminine is spending a lot of time trying to develop the confidence back, the trust in themselves to be able to address whatever betrayal that they felt, that they had betrayed themselves and not listen to their intuition. Okay, so this was the row for feelings. So I'm going to flip over what the common energy is for feelings. Here we have the King of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So how this energy is coming together between the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. I feel some definitely emotional intelligence and awareness, but like nobody's showing their cards, nobody's showing their face. The energy here is almost very harsh in a way. It's not it's like I could be nice, but I'm not gonna. I could watch my words, but I'm not gonna, you know, like I could say more, but I'm not gonna. Like, and you know, no judgment, because, you know, it's like, say less. Like if if this energy of releasing the eggs has not cleared itself, then maybe the best action is no action. So, or maybe the best feeling is that, you know, I don't really have it in me. Like I care, but I got other shit to do. Like let me go do something else. You know, let me distract myself. Let me stay on the move. Let me keep going. Let me go with the plan. Let me go with I know what works instead of like dealing with what I don't. So I don't feel like the feelings are on a back burner right now. I just feel like the focus right now is just moving forward in spite of what you feel. Okay. All right. So we talked about the actions of the feminine toward the masculine, which is, you know, nothing for right now. So what are the actions of the masculine towards the feminine? Okay, we've got the Sun card here. All right. So it feels to me like wanting to be with the feminine, honestly, is what's driving the masculine right now. Like, I feel like they see you, they're looking at you, and they feel like, God, I could be so happy. Like, man, we could really be something. Like, this has like a daydreaming type of energy to me, or like fantasizing about things being better, things like coming together, the dates that I'm going to take you out on, the words that I'm going to say, so this is very like rose-colored glasses, pie in the sky. But I mean, if you're going to dream and hope for stuff, that's definitely the right attitude to have. So I feel like the divine masculine right now is envisioning a better, having a lot of fun, trying to keep their spirits up the best way they possibly can. Focusing on fun and focusing on like how to enjoy themselves. But I also feel this is very much trying to keep hope alive. All right. It's got a very like keep hope alive type of feel about it. All right. And so this is the outcome energy between both. Okay, we got the 7 of Cups and the Knight of Cups. What I'm feeling right off the back is that nobody is super clear at this point. Like, I feel like the heart is in the right place. Like, I want to make a connection, but it's like there's too many insecurities, worries, anxieties here, like getting in the way. So I do feel like eventually these two energies will come together. But when they do, there could be something like very confusing. Very confusing. Like what lies beneath. Like there's a lot of water under the bridge. There's maybe outside influences, too much jumbled up going in the mental space to actually be clear about what it is you want, and also having the confidence to go off of it. Now, there could also just be a lot of offers. Like, the feminine has the divine masculine and 3 other suitors, and the masculine's got the divine feminine and a few other options on their side too. And so it can be very difficult to sort through who's who and what's what. Who's who and what's what. So I do feel an offer coming in. Okay. But I feel like things are just going to be very confusing. Now, we did have at the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Cups. So with this Queen of Cups energy here, it's kind of letting me know, because I mean, that's like the one thing that you don't see here is cups. you know, and cups is definitely that loving energy. And when we finally get to like they're not thinking about love, they're not really feeling it right now. And so then it only makes sense that when it comes to love, we're still not super clear because we haven't really, you know, we've been worried about the pinnacle. We've been worried about, you know, approaching things logically and just not getting hurt again. Like, you know, like we've been feeling feelings, but not really working through them, talking about them, expressing them. Okay, so I feel like the feelings are going to just be very jumbled up. And this release your ex energy is going to be top of mind. Now, one thing I do want to say here is that I feel like what the masculine and the feminine both went through was the same. Okay, I could really see the feminine going through this Five of Pentacles energy. Feminine seems a little further along the healing way than the masculine, but I mean, I shouldn't even say that because the masculine, you know, they sometimes kind of just have different ways of healing. You know, it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you do. So, but I feel like both energies were clearly at some type of setback or deficit after the previous interaction. So, it feels a bit dismal, honestly, but I do believe that there will be a coming together. And the reason I say that is because sometimes we can't address the past, or we don't address the past until we're confronted with it, until we have to deal with it. And this would, like, if you find somebody that you're interested in, or you finally decide, hey, I want to start dating again, or like whatever like that, that could be the impetus to be like, all right, let me see how I feel. You know, you're interacting with different people, keeping track of the internal environment. And then it's like, oh, wow, I'm still not over this, or I still have some more work to do. So I feel like some of this jumbled up emotional energy is going to start coming to light as they start coming together. Now, I just brought back out my romance angels because I wanted to see what was at the bottom of the deck. And what we have is the wedding card. And so it says this situation involves marriage. You know, whether there's a wedding involved or not, oh my God, I sound like a total hater. So maybe there is a wedding. Congratulations. But it could just be a coming together. That's mostly what I feel here. It's just coming together. Okay. So we're gonna go with that. All right, she's not a hater. Okay, so I want to just wrap up with a message from the universe. To close this out, what energy regarding love or partnership is needed for the divine masculine and the divine feminine? What advice? Was that 3? It may have just been 2, but I'm going to cut. Okay. I'm trying to be consistent, but you know, I'm also going to be myself, and sometimes I'm a little all over the place. It's that fire energy. Okay, there we go. Oh, I love this. Okay. It says, of course you will make mistakes, but the biggest one would be not to try. You have nothing to lose. This thing you have been thinking about for a long time, just go for it. Better an oops than a what if. We are here to support you. So the universe has got y'all back. I love that. Okay, so this was a timeless reading for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine love energies. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. And until next time, take really good care. Bye-bye.